Have you ever woken up one day after a spiritual awakening, only to realize that the fire inside you, the passion, the motivation, is suddenly gone? Those things that once excited you now feel meaningless, and the world seems strangely quiet, like someone has turned down the volume on your life. If you felt this way, you're far from alone. That sudden emptiness, that confusing lull after a breakthrough, can feel like falling into a deep, silent void. You might ask yourself, what happened to the light I once saw? What's going on with my motivation? Here's a question to hold on to. What really happens when the fire inside goes out? Today, we're going to peel back the layers of this mysterious and often misunderstood phase. We'll explore why this dark pause after spiritual awakening is not a failure, but a vital part of your growth. And we'll uncover how the great psychologist Carl Jung explained this loss of drive as an essential turning point in the soul's journey. If this strikes a chord with you, if you're in that quiet space right now, this video is your reminder. You are not broken. You are transforming. This moment might just be the doorway to your deepest self. If you find this content helpful or feel like it speaks to where you are on your journey, please hit the like button to let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to the Psycheweave yet, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future deep dives into spirituality and self-discovery. So let's dive in together and discover why motivation disappears after awakening and what comes next. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this, that incredible instant when your spiritual awakening sweeps over you like the first light of dawn breaking across a dark sky. It's as if a radiant sunrise ignites inside your heart and soul, flooding your entire being with brilliant, warm light. Suddenly, you feel alive in a way you never have before. Your very essence seems to vibrate with joy and possibility. In that moment, it's as if your soul is singing a clear, beautiful melody, floating freely and powerfully in the vast stillness of the universe. Every cell in your body hums with renewed energy, and your mind bursts open, seeing familiar things through a lens sharpened by awe and clarity. Life itself feels transformed. The everyday ordinary becomes extraordinary. Colors seem brighter, sounds more vivid, and the air you breathe tastes sweeter. Your purpose, once fuzzy or hidden, suddenly shines like a beacon, guiding you forward. You're spellbound by a newfound passion and motivation, a magnetic pull towards growth, deeper meaning, and infinite possibility. You see doors opening that you didn't even know existed. Projects, dreams, relationships, everything glows with an enchanting new significance. The heaviness of doubt, fear, or stagnation lifts, replaced by an unmistakable fire within you. You're energized, inspired, and unstoppable, ready to dive headfirst into this fresh horizon with open arms and an open heart. It is as if your entire inner landscape has been set ablaze, a powerful awakening eruption lighting up hidden corners of your soul you never dared to explore. This isn't just excitement. It's a transformation that feels like soaring, connected, limitless, and deeply alive. But then, just as suddenly as that blazing light lit your soul, the energy begins to slip away. The fire you felt so fiercely inside starts to flicker and dim until it feels like it's barely there at all. The goals and passions you once chased with unstoppable zeal now seem distant, hollow, even meaningless. It's as if everything that once gave your life purpose has lost its color, its texture, its very reason for being. You stop chasing. You stop striving. The drive that propelled you forward evaporates, leaving behind a strange numbness, a quiet emptiness that's hard to explain but impossible to ignore. It's like someone has slowly turned the volume of life itself down to a whisper. The noise, the rush, the eagerness, all fade into a stillness that feels both foreign and frightening. In this silence, time stretches strangely. You find yourself lying awake, staring at the ceiling, trapped in your own thoughts. Days might blend into each other as you ask yourself silently, where did my motivation go? Why do I feel so lost? That spark that once tugged at your heartstrings feels snuffed out, and with it goes a sense of certainty about who you are and where you're headed. It's like you're adrift in a vast, fog-covered ocean with no compass, no stars to guide you, just an eerie expanse of grey emptiness all around. You want to move, to live, to feel again, but something is holding you back, a heavy fog muffling your will. It's in this paradoxical lull, this free fall without a clear ground below, that many people feel most vulnerable and alone. But it's important to remember, this drop, as terrifying as it feels, is a natural and necessary part of the awakening journey. What you're experiencing isn't a malfunction or failure. It's a profound psychological process that Carl Jung described as a kind of psychological death. Imagine the very foundation of who you thought you were, the ego, your familiar identity, the mental maps you've used to navigate life, suddenly dissolving underneath you. The person you used to be feels like disappearing, leaving you egoless, adrift in a strange and uncharted inner space. At first, this loss can feel terrifying, like falling into a void without a safety net. But Jung reassures us that this is far from abnormal. In fact, it's a crucial and natural phase of inner transformation. He introduced the concept of enantiodromia, a term derived from ancient Greek philosophy meaning the emergence of the opposite. Picture a sine wave smoothly swinging back and forth between two poles. Your psyche naturally oscillates between one extreme and its opposite, between effort and rest, action and stillness, light and shadow. This rhythm is essential to restoring balance when one side has been overemphasized. Jung famously said, "Enlightenment is not imagining figures of light, but making the darkness conscious." This means that true awakening is not simply basking in blissful, shining light. It's about confronting and integrating the hidden, often uncomfortable parts of ourselves, our shadows, fears, wounds, and the unconscious content we might never have acknowledged. So when your motivation vanishes and you feel lost, remember, you're in the midst of meeting your shadow. This is the necessary confrontation where deep healing and true wholeness begin. The darkness you face now is not your enemy. It's the sacred inner territory waiting to be recognized and embraced, preparing you for authentic growth beyond what you knew before. After the fiery burst of awakening and the sudden drop in energy, you enter a space that often feels like a void, a deep, silent lull where nothing seems to happen. This isn't just emptiness. It's a sacred pause, a crucial, transformative stage in your journey. Picture it like the chrysalis phase of a butterfly's life. You're no longer a caterpillar crawling through familiar territory, but you haven't yet emerged brilliant and free with wings. You're enclosed in a quiet, mysterious space, dark, still, and sometimes unsettling. Like a hermit retreating to a cave deep within themselves, you're enclosed in solitude, surrounded by silence. This stage can feel like an inner winter, cold, bleak, and motionless on the surface. Life may seem paused, as if nothing is growing or changing, But this stillness is far from meaningless. In fact, it's the very womb of transformation. Here the old self, the identity, the fears, the motivations that once defined you, is quietly dissolving. It's as if your soul is melting into a space where old structures break down, making way for something new to take shape. This empty, sacred pause is the essential space in between, the place of gestation where your next level of being is being quietly formed. It's uncomfortable and mysterious, yes, but also one of the most important phases on your spiritual path. Holding space for this pause with patience and compassion is how you prepare to be reborn, and how you can trust that silence is actually a powerful sign of subtle, inner work unfolding. So if you feel lost, numb, or stuck in this quiet void, remember, this is not the end. It's the sacred silence before the dawn. As you linger within that sacred pause, where old patterns dissolve and the noise of external ambition fades, something remarkable begins to stir. From the quiet void, a gentle ember of new motivation is born. Unlike the old drives powered by fear, insecurity, or the hunger for approval, this renewed energy emerges from a place of deep authenticity. It is a calm, steady current aligned with your truest self. You begin to live not to prove yourself, but simply to express who you truly are. Your actions become a natural flow from inner truth rather than performance or validation. This is the birth of a more mature, integrated identity, a motivation born from soul-level harmony. You're no longer compelled by societal pressures or egoic ambition. Your motivation is now a reflection of your core values and true desires. This new drive isn't a frantic burst or adrenaline-fueled sprint. It is quiet, persistent, and reliable, enabling you to act with clarity and purpose. Fulfillment is derived from being, not just doing. Your ambition transforms. It shifts from conquering external milestones to devotion to the present and your own unfolding process. Life acquires a sense of ease. Decisions flow from intuition, creativity blossoms, and your sense of direction feels subtler but more trustworthy. You are no longer striving to become someone. You are simply allowing your truest self to emerge, and with it, a motivation that is sustainable, gentle, and deeply alive. If you're in this phase, allow yourself to rest and embrace the emptiness without judgment. This pause is essential, not failure. Try gentle activities like walking in nature, creative journaling with symbols and dreams, connecting with like-minded spiritual companions, practicing mindful breathing, and tending carefully to your emotions. Remember, this is a deep reprogramming of your soul's operating system, a profound but temporary reintegration process. I once met a young person who, after a period of deep meditation, felt incredibly motivated and energized. However, just a few weeks later, all their old passions suddenly disappeared. They lost interest in work and daily life to the point of doubting themselves. But through patient self-observation, talking with friends, and reading Carl Jung's work, they gradually realized this was actually a phase of shadow integration, a necessary step towards deeper self-recognition. After about 6 months of quiet introspection, they started to feel more content, acting more gently, and discovering a new sense of meaning in life. After a powerful awakening experience, I almost lost all motivation in the traditional sense, no more ambition or desires, only aware of each moment as it is. It took a long time for me to realize that this was the foundation upon which a new, more authentic motivation would emerge from within. To wrap up, feeling lost or unmotivated after a spiritual awakening is a natural, vital part of your path. It's the moment your spirit pauses to heal, rebuild, and prepare for a new, truer expression of yourself. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you have any thoughts, questions, or personal experiences, please leave a comment below. I'd really love to hear your story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Psycheweave so we can continue this journey together, exploring the deeper dimensions of the soul and mind. See you in the next video.